What is up, Scarlet, bringing you a brand new breakdown series, I guess. I don't know what I should say about that, because ever since Gen 7 I've been doing this, and every generation I would begin, so I don't really do like spin-off games, I guess, like Pokemon Legends Arceus. I still have yet to actually play that game, and you know, there's some mixed response with these breakdown videos, because, you know, like some people want to see a certain thing or whatever, but you know, I got a lot to bring to the table, because you know, I have examples like looking at everything. Like I see the TCG thing, and it's the first ever thing to introduce Eternatus like right before the game dropped in Sword and Shield, and I was almost near to perfect on the leader predictions when it comes to like 7th gen and 8th gen. You know, 7th gen didn't have gym leaders, that's why I say like leaders in general. So I feel like I got a lot to bring to the table, but I want to do a little bit more, because just to give it a little bit more oomph to like the beginning of this breakdown analysis, I might need your guys' help, so stay tuned at the end of the video so you guys could help out into the very next video subject on this video idea that I have going for you guys. But be sure to watch this, because I feel like this breakdown video is going to be a bit different than what you guys would expect. You know, you might see all these type of stuff, but I'm going to try to cover every single thing possible, and you guys will have a 100% clear view on what's going on. So this is the trailer that happened in pretty much Pokemon Day. It is Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. It is Generation 9, and I didn't think they were gonna do Generation 9 this soon. I thought it was like at least another year to show on Pokemon Day, and then November would happen, it would be like another 3 years. I've been wrong for like 5 years straight. I thought Pokemon Gray was coming out, but no, like they just went to 6th gen. I thought Pokemon Z was happening, you know, that never happened, obviously. And I thought there was Pokemon Eclipse, that never happened, and I just gave up saying like, oh well, obviously they're not gonna be Pokemon Gun, and they just didn't do anything at all. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm just wrong here. And I didn't think, like, everybody was like, oh, Gen 9. I didn't think it was gonna be Gen 9, but lo and behold, Generation 9 came out, and I'm like, well, fuck then. So that pretty much happened. But just to show, in the beginning of the trailer, pretty much there's this security guard going up on what I believe is Game Freak's office, or possibly a museum. The reason I say that is because as he's flashing through the lights, you can see all the rainbow effects, which is a little bit more prominent, because when it comes to Scarlet and Violet, they're both opposite ends of the color spectrum pretty much. And you know, something else as a note, and this might be like the Marvel fan in me coming out, but I guess this is a spoiler for like WandaVision, so spoiler alert if you haven't seen that. Pretty much that Scarlet Witch and her arch rival in the series, Agatha Harkness, I always thought that her villain name should have been like the Violet Witch or something, to go against Scarlet, because Scarlet and Violet, like, they have similar names, and she had like purple powers, and that's what I always said. So it's kind of a coincidence that Scarlet and Violet were a thing for, I don't know, like it's such a coincidence, because I brought that up like last year. And it's not only that, like the Pokemon company had these names like trademark since 2008, and there's like some Easter eggs, I guess, some stuff that they were leading up to cover with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but we'll get to that in a little bit pretty much. But as I was saying, like the security guard puts up a light, and then he sees something at the corner of his eye, and I don't see enough people cover this part of the breakdown video, because there's like a little small shadow bouncing across the thing as the flashlight turns from orange all the way to like a dim purple. It's not exactly Scarlet and Violet, but it's very interesting. But yeah, not only is the shadow bouncing across the sky, but you could barely see it going across the door. It's just like nearly frame perfect, where you could just somewhat notice it. As soon as the security guard goes turn over there's a Game Freak sign to the left, which looks pretty cool. I thought it was just like an intro thing, flickering lights, and I was convinced it was like Detective Pikachu 2. At least that's what everybody else thought. But he's approaching lights that so happen to be red and purple, Scarlet and Violet. But as soon as he gets into the room, he sees all this like archaeology stuff, like all these remnants of so many Easter eggs. Like you get like a typewriter in the background, and then there's something else a lot more prominent. Well, a few things. In like a fruit bowl, there's a bunch of orange and grapes, which you would think like, okay, so orange and grapes, and it's like that. It is prominent because at some point in the background, you could see two crests that shows orange and grapes, which is orange is more aligned for Scarlet and grapes is more aligned for Violet, and that could coinciding with just like how the legendary Pokemon or the mythical Pokemon, if you want to say that. But there's also this logo to the right with like the spider webs with like this eyeball and the triangle, and there's something in the corner that like is why people might think it's a Zygarde cell, but it is interesting nonetheless. I honestly think it's like kind of like the evil team symbol, because the thing is with that, right, it's like the spider web and then the triangle with the eye. That just reminds me of like the Illuminati stuff with on the dollar bill, and just, you know, about the secret society of Illuminati. It just seems so like, you know, it's this secret society that is trying to uncover the treasures and all that or whatever, and they found the banner and there's something in the corner and all that stuff. It could be a couple things, like, you know, like I said, Illuminati is one potential aspect that they could do for the evil team. And something else that I could think of, because based on the region it is, if you don't know, I might as well just say it now. For Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, a lot of people were speculating on what region is based off of, and it's actually based off Portugal and Spain. And a lot of people were throwing the idea of like India, Italia, Mexico, all this stuff. I even came up with like it being covered in Peru, because there's a lot of, you know, there's like the crop signs and then the mummies, and then there's a lot of archaeology that you could do over there. But no, it's very much Portugal and Spain. But the thing is what the symbol is, back in the day there was this conquistador named Cortez, which would go all the way to Mexico pretty much to try to find the lost city of El Dorado, which is why I think of this place. For some reason when I think of El Dorado, I think of like a gold pyramid, like a lot of gold stuff, gold city pretty much, and that's what I think of. It's like the hidden eye to see the truth and all that stuff. It might not be related, but those are the thoughts that I have in my head. It's the Illuminati, and then like the conquistadors trying to find the lost city of gold. I guess another possibility, if it's not a spider web, it could very well be a fishing net, because the corner thing does look more like a fish than anything else. And it still correlates with the whole Cortez thing, because they did go over there with the ship and they were raiding everything just like pirates, looking for treasure and all that for El Dorado. So that could very well be the case. And there's like a lot of pages on the right and like a bunch of scrolls and all that. I'm not sure what that's about, because I could barely make out what it is. Maybe if I zoomed in or something. At some point the security guard gets like teleported away, I believe, or something like that. I'm not really sure, but everything starts flashing just because of this presence of the security guard. Which to a degree I don't fully understand, because isn't he supposed to secure like the whole building? Wouldn't he know about this room? But you know, whatever. And it might be the very same Pokemon that we saw out there bouncing through the hallway. Just not really sure what it is. So this is the first look of the game, so at least it says it's not final. So we'll see how it, like the final version looks like. But this is more so what I believe would be like the end result, except, you know, with added Pokemon and NPCs and all that. But of course the big old castle in the center, the big city, kind of like the saffron, if you will, just entering from all sorts of areas and all that. A lot of trees, a lot of mountains. I really like the look of this place for sure. Let's go start with like, besides the big city, like there's like the ice mountain in the right, and then the mountains kind of in the semi, like the penultimate row going across, with like this weather station on the left side over here. That's pretty interesting. And then there's like these red mountains kind of in front of those mountain areas, so I feel like that's a specific place with like specific Pokemon that we will see at some point. There's like this bridge that goes across leading up to the city. This might be one of the first entries to get to from this spot, and it's the same for the other side, like this other bridge area. And then you can see over here the Pokemon Center, which has like a sign overhead just to make it easier to spot when you're running around in the overworld. There's another Pokemon Center with like that same thing popping up on the right. There's like this building that I'm not really sure what it is. It's like a weirdly shaped. I'm not really sure what this place is, but it could either be a facility or solar panels or something, but it's kind of to the left of the PokéMoN Center. But yeah, all these trails leading up to this, which makes me think that you go in this place really early, which I'll explain a little bit more as like, you know, we develop more of this footage. But as you can see, there's this open world spot with this lake with the gleaming light going overhead, and then this other side of this mountain with the ice mountain and then the red mountains that I was talking about. So this is more kind of like southeast, I would say. The inside look of the mountain with the fog, that looks really dope. So I would say like here's the PokéMoN Center over here, so this would be like kind of the bottom left of the city. And then the first look of the Pokemon that gets introduced. Starly gets the start treatment of being the first Pokemon introduced for Scarlet and Violet. If you want to see the berries, you guys don't get that reference, it's an inside joke. But yeah, all the Starlies fly away, but except for like one, I don't know what that's about. Like literally one Starly just decides to not fly. But that confirms that like besides Starly, there's gonna be Staravius and Staraptors in the game. It could just be another Starly in the grass, but I thought it was just the one. Here's a good look of this area right here with the PokéMoN Center, a cave entrance, which we do see confirmation on the inside of the cave. We will see that later on. And then these like wind turbines to the right, which you see a better look right here. And for some reason I always notice, like I usually don't have like a frame rate eye to just catch these things, but for some reason the one with stairs I always notice like moving slower than the first two. I don't know why that is, but regardless, we see Hoppip flying in the background, or the foreground, whatever you want to call it, which confirms that there's Skiploom and Jumpluff in this game. And then there are these stairs leading up to the top of the wind turbine, which means you might find like a hidden item or likely a TM or something. Maybe for like Soar or Glide. Is there a move called Soar? I feel like there is. I don't know. It's some flying move it feels like you would find in this spot. We got these two Pokemon right here with Bonsweet and then Petalil, which means of course you get the full stage Pokemon right here. And then we see a Marshlands. That looks really dope with Psyducks, which means there's Golducks in this game as well. And then like this side of this place, which really resonates with like how the game looks, with full-on animations and then like the sun reflecting off the water with Combees and the, you know, already confirmations that there's Vespiquen along with Drifloons, which means that there's Drifblims. And then right here, this more likely might be like the leading path to like Route 1-ish, but I can't read that sign. It looks like it says Vokwoes or something. I don't know. I'm pretty sure if you press A it would actually tell you which area it is. But here's Meowth right here, which means that you could get Persian, and potentially you might see like the other variants. Like who knows, you might run into an Alolan Meowth or Alolan Persian, or perhaps like, you know, the Galarian Meowth or whatever, and potentially get them. And we get a nice Meowth, I almost said emote, animation. We got Stonegenerous over here with some like really good details towards it, because like the X's are popping out, and then he has like the mouth is actually like a crack opening instead of like a texture, and then the eyes are kind of more engraved, and every time he steps like the stone blocks kind of bounce with them, which is good. And there's some people like making a theory that pretty much because Stonegenerous are here, they're more likely more of a connection to X and Y, because pretty much Portugal and Spain are right underneath France. That might lead to Pokemon X and Y involved somehow, and it might also lead to Kalos having this region being the one that they contended for the war. But yeah, like I forget what the place was called, but there's something connection towards this Pokemon with that landmark. I'm gonna put it on screen because I don't think I even know how to pronounce this thing pretty much. So we got Clauncher and Pelipper over here, which means we get Wingull and Clawitzer, which is good. In a nice beachside place. I feel like this is pretty early in the game. Maybe. I mean, then again, Pelipper, what, you get him like level mid-20s, so yeah, like past the second gym possibly. And we got Swablues just chilling on the little banner thing with Psyduck on the side. This is more so in the middle of the place. People have been saying that it's based off Barcelona, and this to me looks like a straight up Sonic stage, like Sonic would just run through and try to get to the end goal ring. But the center thing is pretty prominent because like all that has all 18 types right there. I don't believe there's any new types in the circle, but like I said before, with Scarlet and Violet being both sides of the opposite spectrum, there's a whole spectrum on the Pokeball right there, which, you know, this kind of looks like a Pokemon battlefield, so it might mean that you could battle here pretty much. Something more so to it though, I feel like there's something specific about this place. Because it's open world, it makes me think that all these 18 types, that there's going to be 18 leaders that you could choose any order that you could do, and they'll scale up for every gem badge that you might get or whatever thing it is for the specific region. That you might only need 8 unless you could do all 18, but it might be optional, and that would be a pretty cool idea. There is all these symbols in the background. There's a better look later on, because something I didn't mention with Scarlet and Violet, specific in the logos in Japanese, because for some reason in the Japanese logos with every games, they kind of reveal more. Like I said in the past breakdowns, like for X and Y, there's like the DNA, which shows off like, oh, you could do megas. And then for Sun and Moon, you know, there's the Zemu crystals, you know, and then Sword and Shield with their specific hint for Dynamax and Gigantamax. For this one, I'm not totally sure, because to me, like the immediate thing that comes across my mind is like another type of Z move, but it's a little bit more. It could be a combination of typings to attack, except it looks a little bit more spread apart for this logo. Maybe like the crystal that you hold. I could picture it like if it's Link or something, with the 6-sided crystal floating above your hand, and it spreads open and then it powers up, and it kind of, you know, if you have every type, it would be a straight up rainbow. And you come back here and you're able to take on the Pokemon League, because I'm almost certain this town is where the Pokemon League is, and you could come here early and they tell you what you have to do or whatever, but that's speculation. You know, there's no confirmation there, but that's what comes across my head. Regardless, Swablu's so that means Alteria's. But yeah, with this frame, here's a better look at the crystal thing. This is what I'm talking about, with like the 6-sided crystals spreading apart, and then that would be kind of what it would look like, I guess, you know. So for example, this Pikachu right here, if he get like more than one type, like electric and ground or something, Pikachu would be able to do 2 of those attacks at the same time or something. I feel like that's correct, but that would be really broken. I don't know. I something about it just makes me think it's something pertaining to type advantages. Regardless, the people walking in the background, it did that as well when the Swablu's was on the screen, because there was a guy on the phone walking, and now you see these guys going up the stairs, and that guy, that little kid holding something in his hands, and you know, Pikachu doing an animation, which means that there's Pichu and Raichu, or possibly Alolan Raichu too, if that's available. Then we got ourselves Blissey, which means that there's Happiny and Chansey with a orange tree. Now, I'm gonna be honest, and you know, like I mentioned, there's orange and grapes involved a lot, with really woven in and sewn in Scarlet and Violet. Is very prominent in this game about oranges and grapes. But I don't think I've seen grapevines throughout this whole trailer. I don't think. But that's the first note of orange trees, pretty much. Which I don't think it's set to say that this is like, oh, this is for sure Scarlet version or whatever. Because there's some stuff that kind of says the opposite. Regardless though, on this side of the town, this is the other side kind of where Pikachu is, because Pikachu would be like around this spot or something. But it's cool to see Blissey just sleeping, sitting down on grass, I guess. Got some good experience though. Here's a Viper in this kind of this marsh area. It looks like it's kind of out of the marsh area, more so closer to the Red Mountains, I think. I can't really tell. It could be though. It looks like the beginning of that. And here's Larvitars inside the cave, more likely in that spot by the windmills, or the wind turbines. I get windmills and turbines mixed up. Here's Magnemite with the metallic look. I'm pretty sure he was metallic in Legends Arceus as well, but there's a little bit more to it with this game graphically, which means of course that besides, I didn't even mention it, Larvitar, Pupitar, and Tyranitar's in the game, along with a Viper, and Magnemite, Magneton, and Magnezone. Here's Lucario, which means Riolu's here, with the sick animation of Aura Sphere. Also, like, I don't think there is a trainer in the background, so this could be a wild Lucario, which is pretty rare, unless it's just zoomed in and we don't see the trainer in shot. And here's the cathedral of the Pokemon League. You've seen it multiple times, but I never mentioned it, but this is based off the Sagrada Familia. I don't know if I said that right, but I'm pretty sure it means family of blood, or the blood family, if you want to, you know, because, you know, Spanish is reverse, which is something else. I forgot to mention that, like, a lot of people are, like, making the connections, all like, oh, no, Pokemon's been hinting it for years, you know, they speak Spanish. They've been speaking Spanish, like, you know, here's this person that said Fantastico, like, clearly they were hinting at Scarlet and Violet. I'm like, bro, Spain isn't the only country that speaks Spanish. Like, there's Mexico, like I said, Peru, Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, like there's literally other countries that speak Spanish. Like talking in Spanish alone isn't exactly hints, but what is a hint is, I believe in Sword and Shield, in a specific hotel, there's like a little area to the right where there's literally wallpaper of oranges and grapes, and that's about it. Really, with that. I guess in Brilliant Diamond and Precious Pearl, oh my god, I said Precious Pearl, wow. I really wanted the game to be called that. Pretty much the 4th gen remakes, that there was these flowers that were changed and they were purple and orange, representing Scarlet and Violet, which pretty sure was intentional, but that's just about it when it comes to the Easter eggs there. Back to the clip right here, like the cathedral right here is more likely the Pokemon League. A lot of people don't think it'll be this early. I do think it's gonna be this early because they're gonna explain to you what you have to do to be accessible to do that. It's like, okay, see, look, you need this thing. They're gonna give you like the 6-sided crystal, and they're gonna be like, okay, now do what you want. Just pick whatever order you want, and then they're gonna tell you, oh, I recommend you do the grass one since you picked the fire starter or something. So, you know, it'll be kind of like that. And then you kind of pick your own difficulty. If you pick the fire starter, you could go easy and go straight to the grass gym leader, quote unquote, and then bug leader, and you know, you just keep going from there. Maybe the ice leader afterwards since you got the fire starter, or whatever. Or you could go difficult, go straight up to the water gym leader, I guess, or the rock or the ground. So there's that, but that's again speculation. But this looks pretty cool. It reminds me of the place at Galar when I covered it. Besides that, we see this spot right here is Dratini with the fountain. It's not really confirmed whether Dratini's in the game or not, or Dragonair or Dragonite for that matter. It would be cool. Not all the time when there's a statue, the Pokemon's in the game. So I'll withhold this from counting this to be a confirmation. But there is this house that has a purple rooftop and all that. It could be the professor's house. I really want to say it's the rival's house and he's just like super rich or something. Or it could be both. It could be like the rival and, you know, it'd be kind of like a Gary and Oak, Professor Oak that is, a situation where, you know, they're always pretty much together. Or I guess May and / Brendan with Professor Birch. But, you know, it could be that situation, but for some reason I really think it's the rival's house. I could be very much wrong, but part of the reason I say that, and we get a shot of like these random houses over here, we'll get back to that in a second. Here's a rotating shot of all this spot right here in the main center plaza with this glasses store over here. So, you know, don't worry, accessories are in this game, so you could, you know, customize your character a bit more. Here's a different side of this spot. Like, I'm telling you, like, I could picture Sonic running through this shit. This looks like Sonic 06 and not in a bad way. Like, this reminds me of the center plaza when Sonic's running around, I guess. I'm pretty sure people know what I'm talking about. But this is the main character's house right here. Orange rooftop and with orange trees on the side. This is something I should probably note. And there's also oranges on the other side. I feel like, because people would think like, okay, Scarlet and Violet, this is obviously the Scarlet home because it's orange with orange trees. That might be true. I don't think it's the case though. I think regardless, you're gonna, whether you pick Scarlet or Violet, you're gonna be in this house. I don't think you're gonna be switched over to the purple house across the street because pretty much, there's an apron right here. There is also some like hills up there that looks very accessible because I can see trees all on the horizon. I'm like everywhere today. There's like so much to explain, that's why. The thing is, on this screen right here, you see that your main character, whether you pick male or female, is wearing orange clothes. And in Scarlet and Violet, it's already confirmed that pretty much the way that you're dressed in Scarlet and Violet, in Scarlet you have a blue shirt, like a very, very light baby blue shirt, and like orange or maybe perhaps red tie, and like a red orangey striped shorts with a blue hat, and then like a black backpack, which is really cool in my opinion. And then in Violet version, you got like gray clothes with purple ties and shorts pretty much, with also a gray hat. And I guess for socks in Scarlet version it's white with like red stripes, and then black shoes with white bottoms or whatever. And then for Violet version you get like black socks, yellow stripes, and then brown shoes. I dig the Scarlet one a little bit more, well I mean to a degree. I don't know about the striped red orangey look. Like I like the black backpack, and I like the socks and the shoes, I guess. I'm not much into brown shoes, to be honest, and brown backpacks, and I'm not much of a purple guy, so I don't know. Besides the point, those are the differences with Scarlet and Violet so far as we've seen. You would think that because of that, you know, if it was in Violet version, it is logical to think that you would be in a purple rooftop house or something, or you get switched around on this spot. Also, you see this shot over here with the purple house in the background with Flabébés on the bottom right here. I know this is really hard to notice. A lot of people in the breakdown videos don't cover this, which means Flabébé and Florges is confirmed to be in the game, which is something of note. And then here's the thing I'm talking about. Like, this is why I don't believe, like, it could easily be the purple rooftop house, but there's a lot of orange decor inside, with the protagonist from PokéMoN Violet is here, because you could tell with the purple shorts and the black pants and the gray shirt and all that this is very much him. He's not in his rival's house, he's very much in his own house, and it looks really good. Like, I think people are right that they think that they're probably the most wealthy character in Pokemon history so far. Not of all characters, but for main characters, he does pretty well for himself, because he has a widescreen TV, a Switch, some stuff in display in his room, and yeah, no, he's chilling. So there's that going for him. And there's like the map on the right, which it gets cut off a little bit, but that water area that we pointed out before is here pretty much, along with the desert area, which might be where the Stonejourners are at. But we get a good look at the Switch. I don't know if that's worth mentioning, and we get like the little bit of the bottom part of the map. Some stuff are kind of, you know, landmarked, I guess, but then we go back to live action with the two switches there, and I don't know what those Pokeballs are, but unless they're not Pokeballs, I'm not sure what they are. Also, there's a globe right there. I don't know how accurate that is to like the real world one. It might be. I can't really tell because like the coloring looks weird. And this is the reveal of the starters, which I will get to in a little bit pretty much, because that's his own thing. That's his own subject for a different video, I would say. But this is Sprigatito, here's Fuecoco, and here's Quaxly. They're going to be the starter Pokemon of Scarlet and Violet pretty much. And yeah, I can't wait to save it to talk about it, because this is going to be very, very interesting for sure. But here's the thing with Scarlet and Violet. So like the logos pop up, and I guess I could talk about just the logos alone, because for Scarlet there's a whole bunch of like triangles to it. Inside the logo is a straight up ruby. You know, maybe in the English version or whatever it doesn't really pop up very well, because like as the words pop up it's still spheres or whatever, and you might be thinking, okay, why the fuck does that matter? Because in the Japanese trailer it still pops up as triangles. It looks more aggressive. You know, it still has diamonds within the words, but it doesn't so much for this one, and I don't know why, because it's the exact opposite for Violet. Because Pokemon Violet is so much more spherical, and it has like this wave formation inside of a gradient with a lot more spots within it, and it's the same for the Japanese version. That's like the two opposites. It's the triangles that pop up and form the word with the triangle ruby inside the word with, you know, the 6-sided star that I already mentioned. And then for Violet, it's spheres popping up, and then there's this type of gradient inside with spheres in it. So who knows what the legendary Pokemon would look like, the mythical Pokemon, like what would it look like? You know, there's some stuff about it that I don't know what to think, because, you know, Scarlet and Violet, when the protagonist arrived at the house, you know, even the Violet character was in it, it had orange interior. You know, it's not impossible to live in a house with a purple rooftop with the orange interior. It's hella random, but I'm almost certain it's still an orange roof, because the first thoughts that I came across my head is all like, maybe there's academies that has an orange side and a grape side. Like there's the Orange Academy and there's the Grapes Academy, and that's how they introduced like the Pokemon School, if you want to do that, because they got the little crest on their shirts pretty much, whether you're orange or if you're part grapes. And part of me on the potentially the professor house, it could very well be the professor's house. Your rival would always be the opposite of you. If you're oranges, he's going to be grapes, and if you're grapes, he's going to be oranges. And when I saw that house, I kind of thought to myself, okay, he's going to be super rich and obnoxious in this game or whatever. And, you know, if you have oranges by your house or something, maybe you're, I don't know, I want to say it's canon to be in the Orange Academy and that the grapes is the one that's worshipped or something, or maybe the other way around. Maybe the oranges are worshipped, and since there's so much orange trees, you know, grapes don't have grape trees. Their grapes are mostly in vines, you know, they get wrapped around and stuff. You could see them in walls, or I guess they could wrap around on trees too, because, you know, I had a cherry tree with grapes wrapping around that. But that's, you know, that's what comes across my mind pretty much. If I had to guess, I really think since they're so fruit heavy influenced with Spain having it might be 2 grass type legendary Pokemon, and you know, they might have different traits, one obviously being orange, one obviously being purple, with triangles being part of his appearance and then circles with the other ones. But from there, I don't know. Like I really want to say it's grass type legendaries. Why does it do that? Okay, I guess it does separate the triangles and kind of circles for Scarlet, but it does that the second time around. That's hella random. Of course, with this game, it's gonna come out in late 2022, more likely November, like they always like to do. You know, they want to do it after Black Friday, but before Christmas, and that sweet spot. So that's what they want to do pretty much. But, you know, maybe the speculation when it comes to all that isn't perfect. The door closes in on the person, or maybe he just walked out. I don't know. I still would like to think that it's like Five Nights at Freddy's that happened towards them or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. Regardless though, when it comes to the next video, I would like to talk about the starters, and this is the part of the video where I asked for your guys' help, because I would like to know your feedback on what you think Sprigatito will turn into, second stage and third stage, what Fuecoco will look like, second and third stage, and what Quaxley will look like, second and third stage. Let me know everything that you want to talk about when it comes to the starters, like what typings you think there will be, which one you will pick, which one's your least favorite. You know, I'll hold my thoughts over for the next video, and even if you have fan art of what you guys would think these Pokemon will look like, I'll very much feature it. I'll be happy to do that. I'll try to leave out my theories, because I already heard some good stuff, and I've seen some good stuff when it comes to the 3 starter Pokemon. I really want to say what it is, like what I'm thinking when it comes to the starters, but like I said, I should save it for the next video. But that's how I would like this breakdown to be more interactive. For every trailer or sneak peek or anything, I would reveal it, and you know, I will try to cover it. And I'm almost tempted, like, I guess that's the question of the day too, like besides talking about the starters, that's more so to help me in the next video. Should I play Pokemon Scarlet? Because I am Scarlet, and I almost feel like I have to. Like, I almost felt like that when Pokemon Legends Arceus came out, but you know, obviously I ended up doing it. Maybe in the future, but Pokemon Scarlet is like literally calling my name. Should I play on it? And if I do, like, if I do that, okay, well, here's the deal. If you guys agree on me doing Pokemon Scarlet, then you guys get the voted game as well along with that, the 10th Let's Play along with Pokemon Scarlet, and we'll go from there. That's only if you guys agree. If not, then who knows. I'm not sure how I'm going to title this video. I'm going to try to stay spoiler free as much as possible in the thumbnails. Not everybody does that, but who knows. Regardless, if you like this video, don't forget to press that like button. If you really like this video, please consider subscribing. And I guess lastly, what I should mention from what we covered, there has been 49 Pokemon uncovered with more secrets to go. I'm looking forward to talking about the legendary Pokemon along with the starters. I guess wouldn't it be 52 if we're counting the starters? Because I don't know if I should count the 49. I don't know, something like that. I believe it's 49 Pokemon though that I counted. But yeah, White Tigers and Dragons to you, and you've been Scarlet the Knight. I'm out.